wanted to do it. Now, back when I was a kid in high school and college, I was very active. That we're going to get into is exploring the dynamics of confidence and fear. In other words, what was from this morning and what just a little while ago, not so much a little while ago, but especially from this morning, what's the primary problem? Why do we have so much of a problem, or what creates the problem in a trade-by-trade perspective? In other words, if I'm looking at the market, if my technical indicator gives me a signal to buy right now, okay? If I'm not predefining my risk, if I'm hesitating, if I'm jumping the gun, if I put my trade on and I want to move my stop, what is it that's going on right now? What's compelling me to make these kinds of errors? Fear. And what's behind the fear? Okay, but that's good. Yeah, because you don't want to get tapped into being wrong, losing, missing out, all that pain. But remember, I said what was a universal characteristic of all humanity in terms of how we feel about our expectations being fulfilled? Well, yeah, no, when they are. But what I'm saying is that it's because I'm expecting this trade to work. Okay, I want you guys got to get this, okay? The reason why I'm having a problem is because I'm expecting this trade to work. This trade. It's not because I'm thinking that I've got a series of trades. Remember the pattern with flipping the coin? The pattern is that if I've got an edge, I'll give you another example. Let's say that I've got a coin that's weighted heavier on the tail side, so that it's going to come up on a percentage basis 65% of the time heads. And I get someone to take the other side of a bet where I get to call the flip every time. What am I going to do? Am I going to try to determine when tails is going to... 35% of the times tails is going to come up. I'm going to call heads every time. That's a pattern, okay? The way it relates here is that I've got a technical methodology that gives me winning trades, let's say 65% of the time. I don't know which of the next 20 trades or 25 trades that come up, I don't know which ones are going to be the winners and which ones are going to be the losers. If I'm going to trade my methodology appropriately, it really obligates me to take every single trade. I can't be picking and choosing my trades based on what I think is going to happen, because hopefully I've already established you don't know. And if you think you know, you're just making it up in your own mind. I'm going to repeat that. If you think you know, you're just making it up. Is everybody all right with what I just said? And so it obligates me to take every single trade that comes up, because I don't know which ones are going to be the winners and which ones are going to be the losers. It means that if I'm having problems, it's because I have a certain expectation about this trade, or about this trade, or about this one.
You're listening to the Andrew.
So what if I'm expecting a random outcome? What if I change my expectations? Will I feel differently about it? If I change my expectations, will I feel differently about it? Is there anybody in this room? Does anybody who trades? I don't think I've ever met anybody who trades who hasn't at least gambled at some point in their lives. Right? What do you expect when you put money into a slot machine and push the button? Good. Well, one was that was goodbye. I like that. What else? Loud. If anybody's going to say anything. What are you expecting? Really? On this one? Seriously. What do you expect? You know what you're expecting? You're expecting something to happen, right? You're expecting the wheels to turn. You're expecting something to show up. Now think about what I'm just saying. Because you know what? What I just said is exactly what I expect when I put on a trade. I'm expecting something to happen. I don't know what. But over a series of trades, if I do everything right, I'll make money. Because I'm managing my expectations on each one of these trades. I'm managing my expectations so that I do not have the potential to define and interpret these up and down ticks, the information the market gives me, in some sort of threatening or painful way. Because what I'm going to tell you, what we're going to get into now is the effects of that. When you put money, what's that?
How realistic is that 65% on your methodology?
What do you mean, how realistic? Go ahead. No, take the microphone.
How realistic is a 65% win ratio on your methodology?
I'm not understanding the question. How realistic is it?
Well, if you can't go by any individual specific trade, but you say over 20 trades, you can say you expect to win 65% of the time.
Correct. They're based on past performance.
Okay, but then again, looking at over any individual 20 or 50 sample, how realistic is maybe that 65% saying that that's a real number?
I'll find out. I don't know. I don't know. How will I know? How could I know? I'll find out. That's why you trade in sample sizes that are limited. In other words, I don't make an assessment of how well it's working until after the end of a sample size. If at the end of a sample size, I get a high enough percentage of winning trades where I'm satisfied, then I'll take another sample size. If I don't, then I'll find ways to tweak my indicators to improve my results. So if you're to say, how realistic is it? I have no idea of knowing what's going to happen in the future. And when you get right down to it, it is possible. Would it not be possible for me to start a sample size that trade won and end up where every single one of them was a loser? Am I going to know that in advance? And see, that's where paper trading is so critical, is that by paper trading, you will get a realistic assessment as to how well your edge works. And people have no problem paper trading. They'll paper trade to find out if their methodology works and to gain confidence in it. It's the other part that they won't participate in, meaning that they won't take a similar exercise to see how well their own psychology matches up to what they need to do to be consistently successful. In other words, to set up an exercise. Paper trading is an exercise, is it not? It's an exercise in developing skills, in understanding your methodology, is it not? So wouldn't it be just as reasonable to set up an exercise to learn how to execute properly, so you manage your expectations?
What do you consider a proper sample size?
20, 25 trades. I don't think it has to be more than that. I really don't. If it's not working within 25 trades, then there's something you're going to have to change. Okay, so it's all about our expectations. When I put money into a slot machine, I'm expecting something to happen. If it comes up a loser, do I get all worked up about this? Does this tap me into my accumulated emotional pain of every time I've been wrong and lost in my life? I mean, look at there are people who trade and because of their expectations, make every error in the book and can't make consistent money. And the reason why is because of because of their expectations. And yet, if they put money into a slot machine, where essentially the only difference between technical trading and a slot machine is the fact that with a slot machine, you have to put your money in first and then wait for a pattern to emerge. With technical trading, you have to wait for a pattern to emerge and then technically put your money on the line. The problem is, because the way our minds think, we think that because the pattern emerged, that somehow or another it's giving us an edge on that particular individual trade. And there's just no way of knowing that. But over a series of trades, it does. So it's like technical analysis gives the individual the availability of being the casino. Technical analysis lets you own the slot machine because you've got the odds in your favor. The casino makes the slot machine available to us because they've got the odds in their favor. But to derive the benefit of those odds, you have to be able to execute properly. And you have to think about this properly. It is just a numbers game based on the odds. That means that you can't put an extraordinary amount of significance on each individual trade. Because if you sat and played a slot machine, you wouldn't think anything of it. If you played a $1 slot machine and you sat down with the idea that, you know what, I got $100 in my pocket, and you didn't win, you might have, let's say 10 times in a row you didn't win, you're still going to push the button. Because eventually you think, eventually I'm going to hit. Eventually I'm going to hit, so it's all right. You see, it's all right. Same thing here. This trade didn't work. Well, eventually I'll get a winner. This trade didn't work. Eventually I'll get a winner. This trade didn't work. Well, eventually I'll get a winner. Well, I don't know about this next one now. And that's almost always the winner. Now, if it turns out that your methodology has diminished in its, let's say, in its capacity to produce a winning percentage, because the underlying nature of the market is changing in relationship to this fixed formula, then, that's why you trade in smaller sample sizes, or a sample size where you don't lose an inordinate amount of money to find out it's not working. But you do this right, and you're the casino. Regardless of all the dynamic traders, regardless of all this other stuff I'm talking about, it doesn't matter. None of that stuff's important. As long as you understand as long as you understand how the underlying dynamics relates to the formula, so that you don't put an extraordinary amount of significance on a formula that's just giving you a pattern in collective behavior, not individual behavior. And it's individuals who move the market. So those individuals, there can always be an individual or group of individuals who come into the market that do something that completely negates the outcome of your pattern. And that's all right, because there's no way to know that in advance. It's all right. When you look at it that way, then you won't get all worked up. Then it's just a random outcome, just like a slot machine. It's just a random outcome. Because that's what you're expecting. You expect a random outcome, you got a random outcome, and there's no emotional significance. Because here's what happens when you don't look at it this way. Let's take a typical trader who's operating out of the 4 fears. Okay, we got support, we got resistance, we got a nice trading range. The market's coming down to support. Okay? Now, a typical trader operating out of those 4 fears, the fear of being wrong, the fear of losing money, missing out, depending on the intensity of these fears in a given moment, he might have a hard time putting that trade on, right? He's got a viable pattern. All that happened here is that when the market, you had an imbalance in conviction. Remember, all price movements are a result of an imbalance in conviction. The markets came down to this point right here. There wasn't one person in the world, not one, I'm going to say this, not one person in the world, in the whole world, that would take out the bids to offer this market one tick lower than this price right here. Not one. Okay? And then all of a sudden there's an imbalance in conviction where there are more buy orders and sell orders that drives the price up to here. The same thing happens, drives the price down to here. Same thing happens here, here. Now it's coming back down. Now from my perspective, I'm looking at it like this. How much room do I have to give the market to tell me that the people who bought here and the people who bought here are going to come back into the market and do it again? Because right now there's an imbalance in conviction on the sell side. That means that enough orders, buy orders, have to come into the market to absorb all the offers, to absorb all those offers, with enough left over to create upside movement. Do I have any way of knowing whether or not they're going to come in? No, I don't. But the odds are in my favor. At least I hope they are. In any case, I'm willing to risk a certain amount of distance from my entry point to find out. That's all it means to me. If they don't come in, it means, you know what, the guys that bought here and bought here, they might be out to lunch. And that happens. I'm not kidding you. I know that for a fact. I've experienced it. Because I intimately knew, you know, a lot of the big traders in certain markets that would buy here, and I'm thinking, okay, they're coming back in, and they were out to lunch. Say, hey, where were you guys? But to the typical trader that doesn't think this way, what's going to happen? If he manages to get the trade on, it's going to be because he thinks he's right. It's because he thinks he knows what's going to happen next. Right? And he's not going to put in a stop, because to predefine his risk, how much money does he have to, how much room and dollar-wise, how much room and distance, the dollar value of this distance, that he has to give the market to tell him that this trade is either working or it's not. Or that to let it go any further isn't worth finding out. That's all it means to me. But he's not going to think that way. He's going to think, by gathering evidence that this trade might not work, he might be talking himself out of taking it. And so by the time he actually manages to get this order in the market and buy somewhere in here, he has convinced himself that he's right.
You're listening to the Opportunity.
Now remember I said earlier, and I think I just said it once so you might not have gotten it, that fear has an effect on the way we perceive information. When we're in a state of mind of fear, we are perceiving information in a threatening way. In other words, we're having an expectation of pain. And remember I said that to experience emotional pain, there's two kinds of pain, physical pain and emotional pain. Emotional pain requires an interpretation. The up and down ticks that the market offers us are not inherently pleasurable or painful by their nature. There is such a thing as painful information. I mean, painful from the environment's perspective. If someone's hurling insults at you, their intent is to cause you emotional pain. But that doesn't mean you're going to experience the emotional pain unless you interpret it that way. If they're hurling insults at you in a foreign language that you don't have the slightest idea about what they're saying, it may look to you like they're saying something that isn't so nice, but then again, you don't know what the words are, and so what do you feel? Nothing. The interpretations come from our beliefs. The interpretations come from our mental framework. In other words, the pain's already inside of us. All the words are doing is tapping us into it. Once we learn how to manage our interpretations, we can manage the way that we feel. We can actually determine how we feel in our own state of mind. So this trader, he's operating out of a fear of being wrong. So, like I said, he convinces himself that he's right. That's the way he gets the trade on. So let's say the market Now, I said that fear causes us to focus on the object of our fear, so that we end up creating the very experience we're trying to avoid. This trader is trying to avoid being wrong. Now, we have self-protective mechanisms. They can work at an unconscious level. There are mechanisms inside of us that will protect us from information that we perceive as threatening. It causes what is typically referred to as perceptual blindness, where there are things going on around us that we cannot perceive, even though we have the ability to perceive it, but we're being blinded from it. If I'm afraid of being wrong, what of the information that the market is making available to me, what am I going to focus my attention on, the upticks or the downticks? You're right, the upticks, not the downticks. Meaning that what I will do is I will place an inordinate amount of significance. In other words, the way my mind will automatically weigh this information in terms of what's significant and what isn't, it will give more significance to the upticks than the downticks. Because every time I get an uptick, it will be taking me out of my pain. I'll say, oh, it's finally all over. And then we'll get more downticks. And then we get a couple upticks and say, oh, it's finally all over. In other words, what my mind is doing to protect me is saying that these few upticks are far more significant than all these downticks. Now, do I have the ability to recognize a trend? In other words, being able to define and recognize a trend is one of the most fundamental characteristics of learning technical analysis. A trend is a series of higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. But in this moment, am I able to recognize this as a trend? No, because I'm too focused on getting myself out of the pain, which means that I'm focused on these upticks. Now, our traders operating both out of a fear of being wrong and a fear of losing money. Now, what ends up happening is this, is that if this were to represent all the negative energy inside of his mind of what it means to be wrong, there's also negative energy inside of his mind about what it means to lose. And as the market moves further and further against his position, his belief about losing will start to gain more and more significance and start to rise to the forefront of his consciousness and make itself known, make its presence known, until finally he gets to a point where he cannot stand losing one more dollar. And that one more dollar, in essence, is when the pain of losing one more dollar is 1 degree greater than the pain of admitting that he's wrong. In other words, when this pain is greater than that pain by 1 degree, he'll get out of the trade. That's when he'll admit that it's a losing trade and get out. You guys with me on this? Now, he would say that the market did this to him. But what I'm saying is that is blatantly not the case. His fear did that to him. He created the very experience he was trying to avoid. He was trying to avoid being wrong, and he made himself wrong. And ultimately, this is always the spot where the market, where the market does that anyway.
Next up, we have AJ Campanella. It's nice to see another Paisan in the industry. AJ, good morning. Great to meet you.
Yeah, it's great to meet you too. I've had FOMO not being able to participate in this. Like I see some of the guys on here, and I was a little nervous. I've done a lot of interviews lately, but I was a little nervous here because I wanted to make sure that my hair looked as good as yours, and I just don't think I can accomplish it. You've got a perfect coif every day, brother. It's impressive.
Thank you. AJ, as I always say, you got to set goals that you can reach. You can't set these goals that are way too high of a standard. You don't want to set yourself up for failure.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what you have done. You set yourself up for a massive amount of success. So this isn't the first time. This is the first time we're speaking, but I've been in emails and I've spoken with you before. And I actually, I listened to you originally on the first Paint to Tape podcast, and then now we have Lucid Trading. And I got to tell you what, man, the buzz and what you guys are building is really incredible. You've got the community all around you, rallying behind you as a newer player in the prop space. Talk to us about Lucid Trading.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, the buzz has been really good. It's also great timing with everything that Ninja Trader Prop and Trader Bait Prop are rolling out with. For us, like you said, I've been friends with Leo and Stowe for a while. We were on the Paint the Tape podcast together, and I think we've been in this space for a few years, and we just saw a couple things that I think that Lucid Trading is, our ethos has been to improve upon, the user experience and the move to live process. When these props came into being over the last few years, the move to live wasn't super important at the beginning. But I think as time goes on and as the industry grows, you're seeing live become more and more important. And we're really proud of the work that we've done for our live program, and we're really excited to bring that to the Ninja Trader community.
No, it's funny you say that. That was always my biggest beef with the prop space was, it started off in the right place where, okay, let's get everyone to live, right? Then it kind of took a turn and it wasn't really as important. That has now since changed. I think players like you coming into the space and who are making that better are forcing the hand of a lot of other players in the space, which I think is great because when, one person starts to come in and do something that traders like and embrace, it tends to, that's how markets work, right? No different than, with the markets that we trade each and every day. Talk to us about that live experience in Lucid and what separates you guys from maybe some other people in space.
Sure. I would say there's basically, I would break down how we're different into like two buckets. It's, the transition to live and then some of the features of our like live accounts. I think the biggest thing for us on the transition to live is there are two ideas that were really important to us. One, I think online you see one of the biggest criticisms of going live to a firm is that there's no point, right? You're better off taking that money and just putting it in your Ninja Trader brokerage account. So something we've been talking about since day one and something that we really nailed down well over the last month or so is like a capital scaling program for live traders. So traders that are moved live with us have the ability to earn additional capital from Lucid as they find success in live. I think that that's a really tangible benefit that I think one or two other firms have it. I'm not saying we're the only one, but it's something that was unheard of coming into 2025. So I think that I'm really excited that even though we're on the newer side, that we're one of the only firms that does offer additional capital to traders in live. And I just think it just makes a very black and white way to say, hey, like this is why you should trade live with us. The other part of the transition to live that we're really proud of that I don't think anyone else has is I think that a lot of traders that get moved live with a prop firm, it might be their first time trading a live account, especially if they've just come into the space the last year or two. And I think that there's a challenge for some of them, right? It's a psychological change to go from the sim environment to the live environment. So a lot of times they'll stumble. So from day one, what we wanted to create was a second opportunity to go back to live if, a trader did draw down their account. I think it's super frustrating to spend potentially months and, several goes of having to, go from an eval to funded account, and then you get to live and you stumble that first time, and then you just have to start back at the beginning. So for us, we really wanted to put in place a structure for a trader that's kind of proven themselves in sim, but, had a hard time that first going live to have a second chance and, to regain their footing. So on the transition, those are two things that I think are unique to Lucid that, I hope it becomes an industry standard because, like you said, I do think it's really important for these firms to start to lean into the live component a lot harder than they currently have been.
One of the beefs that I hear about when they go live is, look, if they went through all these evaluations, they made some money, they got a payout, then some money goes into live. So they've taken some of that money out and now it's in a live account, and now it's hard to actually stay live. There's more incentive to go back to sim because that's where the bigger payout was. And then the rules within the live just get a little bit trickier, and they feel that there's not a way to actually build a career in live. See, to me, that's something else I think that's got to be really fixed, is to be able to get with guys like you and then build that future in live, right? Because isn't that the point, AJ? Is that once you get them live, to stay there and build that career. What are you guys doing when someone goes live? What does that experience look like for them to then build their career within Lucid?
Yeah, so I think we do a couple things. The first is like how you're able to participate in our live account. No, we don't have, once you get moved live, none of those objectives that are in those funded phase, they don't come with you. So there's no, minimum trading targets to take a payout. You can treat our live account exactly like a brokerage account. If you have the margin, you can swing trade. If you have a down day, you can take a payout. We want it to be basically the same experience as if you had that money in your brokerage account. Beyond that, we provide a monthly stipend of $200 a month for each live trader. You can spend that on software, coaching, whatever a trader feels like is best for them to, enhance their performance. We're also, once you get moved live, traders are technically, you're a professional in the eyes of the CME. And that professional data fee can be, for each exchange, it could be like $150 a month. So we cover that first data exchange fee just as an additional benefit to traders. And our goal is, from a risk management department standpoint, we want to be as present or as kind of hands-off for the trader as possible. I think some traders get to live and maybe they've got a live account or they've done it with a couple other firms. They're pretty competent. I don't think they want us like hanging over their shoulder. I mean, we're obviously going to keep an eye on every account and make sure that no one's kind of going off the rails. But it's like, hey, if you hit a daily loss limit, it doesn't necessarily require for every trader to have a meeting with us to get their account unlocked to keep trading. Like sometimes you just have a down day and you want to get back on the horse. We don't want to get in the way of traders doing that. But also, when we onboard a new live trader, we're like, hey, do you want us to check in if you do hit daily loss limit? Because some people do want a more hands-on experience. So we're really just trying to cultivate, an environment of flexibility. Like, what does a trader need from us to feel supported? And then beyond that, like you said, the goal isn't, in my mind, to stay in sim forever. It's got to be establishing a long-term relationship with our traders that's mutually beneficial, right? Because we put up capital for these traders, we throw our resource behind them. Eventually, the firm wants to enjoy in participating in the profits of the trader. So our mindset is that we kind of need to make a merge between traditional prop desk and new prop firm. And so our goal is to identify those traders that continue to have success in live and kind of put them in almost like a remote desk environment with other successful live traders. And it would be like, an online desk. And that's where we continue to, at that point, you've had success in sim for several months, you've had success in live, and we've seen that, continue. So it's like, all right, now let's put you in a pod with other people that have accomplished the same thing, and you tell us what you need. You've obviously proven yourself to a point beyond what the vast majority of the community is capable of. Tell us as a firm, like, what do you need so that we can all work together and be aligned in the rest of the journey?
I love hearing you talk about this because it feels like the journey was capitulated, per se, once you got to live, and it was like, okay, I got the payouts, I did what I need, and then the live kind of just like fizzles. You're building on that momentum, and I get it, and I love hearing what you're doing. I want to talk a little bit about the technology, NinjaTrader Prop, Trade Prop. How have we played a role in the prop space and helping guys like you, build out that experience from sim to live?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the NinjaTrader Prop and TradeAvate Prop rollout that you guys have just come out with, I mean, perfect timing for us. We launched the same day that you guys launched. It's been awesome. So I think the ones that you guys have called out that I think are super interesting, obviously Orderflow Plus. Anyone that's listened to Leo or Stowe or myself or XY talk, that we're all Orderflow traders. So being able to access, a volume profile, TPO, that's a game changer. I know that's something that you guys have always had, but it's never been included with the prop firm package before. So I think people are really, really excited when they see that is kind of now just part of the NinjaTrader Prop experience. I think something that you see in the space that is becoming more popular are having more flexible risk controls. So I know that with the new rollout, there are additional risk control features like being able to customize your daily loss limit, being able to kind of lock yourself out when you hit a certain profit target. I think that's something, daily loss limit was something I was always familiar with, but the profit lockout was something that I've never really implemented a rule like that, even on a discretionary basis for myself. But I think you see a lot of new traders, maybe, being forced to walk away and helping themselves build that habit. Having that tool be accessible to them is something that's really, really valuable. And then I think the other one that's really, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, the other one that I think is really exciting is the market replay. When I've talked, Leo, Stowe, and I have all talked about how, integral being able to rewatch the market, especially if you're an order flow trader, getting a feel for the pace of the tape, getting a feel, watching the DOM over and over again, building that pattern recognition is so important. So that market replay feature on the TradeAvate Prop and NinjaTrader Prop package, I mean, I think that like every trader should be spending hours a week, utilizing that tool.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear how our technology is helping you guys. And just to talk to all the traders out there, look, this is just the initial rollout. There is going to be stages where things are going to continue to get better for the experience. And everybody knows that that I've spoken with out there, and with our team, I'm committed to helping in any which way I can, giving feedback to our technology team to continue to build on the momentum of what we already have. And that's extremely important to me, because I would love to see the success go from SIN to live and beyond, right? That's the goal, right? And so we're going to do everything we can to make that experience happen as best we can for traders. Just a minute and a half left, AJ. Any kind of final things? Talk to us about some things you guys have currently going on at Lucid. Like I said, we just got Ninja Trader Prop and TradeBait Prop on with you guys. Anything you want to talk about that where traders can go and learn more about what you guys are doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we have an active Discord community. Our websites, our websites now, you can go to it straight from the Ninja Trader Prop microsite, but it's lucidtrain.com. We just celebrated a milestone where we paid out 5 million traders. We haven't had to deny a single payout. That's something we want to continue to, we want to make sure that we don't deny any payouts for, our history. So we're really excited about where we're at. And yeah, I mean, our dashboard is real time for Ninja Trader, for Ninja Trader accounts. So that's something that we're really proud of. It's like technical innovation. Our developers are, they love to hang their hat out on that. But yeah, I think, we just focus on the user experience. We're focused on making sure that, we have all the bells and whistles for everyone that comes from Ninja Trader.
All right, everybody, listen, AJ's, as you can tell, he's a great guy. He's innovative. What they're doing at Lucid is something special. I believe that. We're going to put a link down below in the chat. Go check out what they're doing. AJ Campanella, again, love to see a Paisan in this space. So good
Absolutely.
To meet you today in person, buddy. All right,
nice to meet you too.
Friend.
Bye. Thanks.
All right, well, we're going to go from the best-looking segment of the day, me and AJ, to the second best-looking segment of the day with Kane and Leo. Sorry, guys. I mean, look at you got two Italians together. I'm sorry. We all know. Chad's going to tell you right now, it's not even really close. Although his Kane is looking he's looking more svelte, man. I tell you what, he's looking pretty lean. I saw him yesterday. We were in a Zoom together, and I told him, I said, man, you're looking good, buddy. He's getting ready for his Wednesday segments here on Ninja Trader Live. I think he's gone keto or whatever it is that he's doing to look good, because you know how the chat is here with Leo and Kane on Wednesday. It's always fun, and Kane's Instagram always blows up. But let's not hold back. Let's get ready for Trade the Open with Leo and Kane.
Good morning.
What's up, guys?
Can't believe you said that about me.
What? Second best looking group?
Yeah.
I call it the way I see it, man. The chat does too. They all know.
Let's hope AJ wants to trade the Open today, then.
AJ wants to trade the Open with you guys? Oh, we gotta have that.
Well, maybe we don't. Maybe that's you insulted us. We're going on strike now.
Yeah.
See
you later.
It's
you guys
okay
have fun trading the Open together.
All right. Well, close it down. Shut it down. You notice the difference? Here's the difference, right? You two are two good-looking guys, but look at the difference between me and AJ. We come in, we both got cologne on. Our hair's done. You guys are hiding. Kane's in the hat. Who knows what he's going on? He's got incense burning in the background. I don't want to hear about it. It's not the same thing, Leo.
I got cologne on, just for the record.
He does. Paco Rabanne?
Nah, what?
He doesn't even know what Paco Rabanne is. It's what you use.
That's some Italian shit.
Yeah, Kane's probably got like Dracar on. You guys tell me you don't remember these older colognes.
Yeah, I don't. No. I wasn't born.
Yeah,
swinging a miss, Deli. Swinging a miss.
Yeah, swinging a miss. I know. It's all right. Well, it's for a different time. Me and Paxton left about that later. But so today, guys, again, yesterday we got some volatility. Markets seem to be showing that they're not just going to go straight up, but who knows? Maybe that today is different. Let's start with you, Leo. Let's take a look at your screens. What are you seeing coming into the Open today?
Well, I'm looking at an overnight session that basically did nothing. More or less just digesting around yesterday's volume, which is right here. So there's really no new information for me. So this is a distribution that we're in, kind of a miniature balance area. And so I'm going to, keep that in mind. So the range is basically, from the way I would look at it, from this high volume node down to the edges to the 20s, up to basically the 80s. So like if you box that out, that would be a range where we've been trading in for the last 12, 16 hours. And so I want to play a break of that range, or if we break it and, basically like a stop run type reversal setup, want to look for that too. I think either scenario could be at play here. So we'll see who shows up at the open.
Kane, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I normally would get quite bearish here, right? But I guess PTSD the last month and a bit is just telling me that we've had one down day and everyone's switching bearish, and I just feel like that would have been me a month ago, and the last month hasn't been the nicest on me. So I'm kind of leaning a little bit more bullish here, especially considering that like ES popped up into a nice level, that 6770 level. That's kind of a level I'd want to sell out of originally. We pulled back, but now they're just holding above, and they're just every like market structure right now is just I'm leaning more bullish, right? It's not really breaking, it's not really selling into the lows, they're buying it out of the lows. So yeah, overall I think a pop at the open, maybe sell some pullback. I would really like previous day low, like that basically 12 o'clock low from yesterday. I really hate the fact that they didn't sell it at 2 into the low and then rode it out. If 2 took out this low in the morning, I would have been bullish today. I'd be super bullish today. But right now I'm just thinking we clear all of this built up from yesterday. We clear everything, and then we pop and then drive down. That's kind of my plan right now.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope that we do get some volatility for you guys. I mean, yesterday it was a little bit of hope, but it just seems ultimately like, I'm just stuck in this, sideways to grind higher type mode. But I do think we were talking more in the macro sense. This dollar movement again should start to spark some volatility within the indexes. Not that that's something that I think traders need to watch right now, but let's hope it does bring some volume and volatility to us. But a couple things of business I got to take care of before we go today. First off, everybody, you may have heard we've got the Ninja Trader Arena Cup coming. Kane and Leo are going to be in the Ninja Trader Arena Cup with us, and that is going to be starting very soon. We already are like I think over 8,000 signups already for the Ninja Trader Arena Cup, which is crazy. And so we're maxing at 30,000. I think we're going to get there pretty quickly. Remember, there's going to be 3 rounds of competition, everybody. So you're going to have a round of competition starting on October 20th and the 27th, then November 3rd. Prizes are going to be given away the entire time, cash prizes on qualifier 1, 2, and 3. And then if you qualify and that top percentage, then you make it to the championship round, where we're giving away $100,000 to the winner and $250,000, which is on November 17th. It's quite a bit of cash for a simulated event. $400,000 in total in cash prizes.
Free
so
as well.
Link is in
that's
the
the
chat.
crazy thing. The entrance fee is $0, and you can get life-changing money for nothing.
I mean,
Just for demonstrating, some trading skills.
Yeah, I get so many DMs from people saying, I know I can trade, I just can't afford to. Here's your chance. That's it.
yeah. And the reality is we made it not the easiest, so it's not like people can come in and just YOLO. So a lot of people were talking about like, oh, it's micros, it's this. It's supposed to be hard. We want to have, skill involved to be able to win this. And I think we've achieved that, and we'll see. I mean, I can't wait. We've got all of you guys are going to be streaming together on each of the qualifying rounds. It's going to be super exciting. So can't wait for that. So everybody, again, that link is in the chat. Go ahead and register there, and of course, go and follow Leo and Kane on socials to go and see what they're talking about on their streams and sign up from there as well. Guys, you guys are going to be doing giveaways today. We'll start with you, Leo. What are we doing here?
Oh, I didn't know I was giving away anything today.
Is it you or is it Kane?
I think it's Kane. I think
It's me. Yeah, we're doing a giveaway. Giveaway will end at 10:45. I think production gonna put something in the chat. We're gonna be giving away a pair of these, some glasses that everyone comments about. You're not
Hold on.
No. You have to enter. If you want them, you have to enter. All right, that was the deal that I made with production. You no freebies just because you work here. All right, no.
Ellie, I don't even know what to say right now.
Listen, I'm trying to win them too.
Yeah, they're exclusive. Shab asked me for the link. I said I can't tell you the link because you'll buy them. Just got to give them away and whatever. So, yeah. But we're giving away 2, so you both could win. Actually, it's not you both could win them. That'd be rigged though. But yeah, we're gonna give them away. And yeah, everyone's gonna find out how these make you a better trader.
I mean, what are you going to do when you see me and Leo at the Naples meetup wearing those glasses is what's going to happen. And then we're going to do who wore it better.
Yeah, I mean, and it won't be me.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I want to try to keep to myself here today. Nobody. All right. You guys are the best, man. I really look forward to your Wednesday segment. I mean, not only do all the traders learn something, we have a laugh, we have a good time. You guys keep it light. Honestly, one of my favorite segments of the week. So appreciate you guys. Much love from me. I will see you guys soon.
I bet you tell that to all the other traders, Deli.
He does. I heard him say that yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I can't play favorites. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I'll give you a pair, but you can't tell everyone because then I'll get Deli asking, Shab asking.
I'm coming on the stream with them on. People are gonna know.
Yeah, exactly. But you can just say you bought them, right?
I mean, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly. How are you, brother? Anyway.
I'm good, man. Baby season and stuff. That's
yeah.
all I'm gonna say.
You're tired still. Yeah. Yeah, that is tough.
It's harder on mom than anyone, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're literally legit. We're laying at nighttime, laying in bed. We can't even talk to each other. We have to text each other to have a conversation.
Oh, well, because the baby will wake up.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of peaceful, actually.
I mean, yeah.
No. Your wife is a lovely lady, so yeah, I'm sure that is stressful on her. She doesn't deserve it.
Said that.
No, she's lovely. You only say nice things about her, so even when she's not around. Hopefully she's listening. Working overtime on them brownie points.
She's doing baby stuff right now.
Yeah.
But what about you? Did you already bang out some trades? You messaged me and said, I hope you have some trading to do today because I'm done for the day.
Yeah, I'm more or less done for the day. Yeah, I caught a nice long and then re-added on the pullback and caught it, and then basically exited when he just took the high, and I've just kind of been sitting in it since. So yeah, well, I've not been sitting in it, I'm in nothing. So but yeah, we came back to basically more or less where my average entry was on here, and then yeah, I've had the chance to rebuy it. I do think we just clear out all of this today and then drive into 50% and then pull lower. Where are your magic boxes? Are there any magic boxes on your screen today?
No, brother, we're above them. What I would do, just from a context perspective, is I would honestly just mark out the overnight high and low because it's well within the range, volume distribution from yesterday. So basically, I would just, box this out and basically play, wait for one of these to trade and then watch what happens there, right? A big trade for many people is to we take out the overnight high in reverse or take out the overnight low in reverse. That's a mean reversion at first, but then it's a continuation on the higher time frame, right? Like longs or even shorts at this point.
Yeah.
Or if we break and don't ever come back, look for reoffers for continuation and, longs or shorts. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm looking for this to break, this volume distribution to break out, or use somebody like we'll use that as the higher low as a point of reference for some type of reversal, for a non-breakout, but to the other side essentially. But we have the FOMC meeting minutes today. And I just don't relative volumes at 80s. There's 10-year bond auction at 1. Then there's FOMC minutes at 2. It's just or is that? Did I say it right? 1 and 2.
Yeah. The bond auctions at 101.
I'm trying to speak in EST, but all my stuff is listed in CST. So
you're right. Yeah, bond auctions are always 101, and then
I did that, but then I was like 1300. It just had a brain fart.
Yeah.
Okay, so minutes at 2, bond auctions at 1, and then there's FOMC speakers literally all day. All day.
So this sell-off yesterday was fueled by an FOMC speaker, right? Well, I believe they were speaking.
Oh, no. I thought it was the Oracle margin compression story. Like their margins are basically, maybe Tracy was talking about it yesterday, but I think it was just like their margins on their chips are like nothing. Yeah, like worse than Walmart retail margins. Or,
you mean to tell me the company that invested in one company, that invested in another, that invested in the original company, that whole thing fell apart?
No, I don't even know. I haven't been able to keep up with all this rigmarole, but it sounds like a scam. It sounds like a legit scam.
I think the story goes that OpenAI invested in NVIDIA invested in Oracle, and Oracle invested in OpenAI, and Oracle stock jumped 30% or 20%. And actually, in the middle is basically just an investment from NVIDIA into OpenAI, I believe. Or the other way around, from NVIDIA into Oracle. So it's like the Oracle stock rallied because of it. But it's just like this inception of investment that just flows from one another. That's just creating this, I guess, some would call it a debt bubble, right? And then now the news comes out that none of them are making, Oracle is not making any money. Who would have guessed? So yeah, but I didn't know why we dropped. All I do know is that I tried to sell the 9.0. I basically tried to sell this high yesterday on the 32nd and missed it. And then it jumped, didn't come back for me, and then fell off the face of the earth, and I was a little bit sad. But yeah, crazy day. I actually think FOMC minutes are normally pretty nothing. But I think
they are, but for some reason, go ahead.
I think after a cut, the context of this cut matters. And I think the minutes will give a lot more context than the speech. So I think the market is going to be generally slow today. That is how I feel. But when I feel that way, the market generally is slow but clean. So we'll see.
I mean, relative volume being in the 80s is that doesn't give me any confidence that we're going to have anything but slow. So you're saying it's slow. I'm saying it's slow. If the market does something cool, that's going to be great. Everyone can fade us next time we say it's going to be slow. But I don't think that's very likely.
Yeah. I mean, I said this before, right? Not the recent NFP that actually hasn't happened because of government shutdown, but the one before that. I was like, I don't really trade NFP days. They're really ugly. They're never clean, blah, blah. Turned out to be the cleanest day ever. Every setup was just clean. And everyone's like, oh, NFP was clean. And I'm like, the one time it's clean doesn't mean that we should trade it, right? So I don't know, pick your battles. I've been really selective of the battles I've been picking recently. And I've taken some small paper cards, but my big bets have been very, very methodical. And to be honest, luckily for me, they've played out most of the time over the last couple of months. So I've been where I would normally be medium size in the market most of the time. I'm low size in every day. And then when I feel really confident about setup, I just normal size and a bit more. And they've been playing out a lot nicer. Like this morning, nice push, re-add, and just push again.
The less involved I am or have been recently. The market has been better for me.
Yeah, I'm also actually trying for the month of November, or middle of October to the middle of November. I'm actually trying to go on a bit of a dopamine detox, and I think it's really hard in our job to have a dopamine detox because I get dopamine from my job every day. So
is that why you stopped answering me when I text you?
Yeah, probably. But I'm just putting my phone down, so like my phone doesn't come with me everywhere, and so it's just nicer to be more present. But yeah, I'm just trying to. I do it like once a year, just really reset, and I'm deciding to do it now, basically. And it'll lead up to my birthday. Over my birthday. It's my birthday in just under a month here. I can believe that.
Holy, how old are you gonna be? 20?
Yeah, 21.
Okay.
Yeah, 21. I can finally drink in America in November.
That's great.
That's great, right?
What is your birthday? November what?
It's in the first 5 days of November.
Jeez.
Yeah.
First 5 days.
Yeah. I would tell you. I just don't want to tell the chat. You know how weird the chat can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Heard. I am 31. By the way, I'm not 21. Me and Leo are kind of having a joke. I am 31, so I'm 32 in November. Thanks for reminding me.
So you know what? Just looking over here, a spicy short idea.
Pre-market?
No, not now.
I was gonna say,
if we trade up to 124 to 132, like this little range right here, it's yesterday's midpoint. So the 50% retracement of yesterday's range.
Yeah, this is what I want. I want that flush. I want that little spike into that.
And yesterday's value area high. But also, it's also the week midpoint as well.
Sell it. Sell it all.
So it'd be 50% of the range of the week yesterday and yesterday's value area high.
126 and then we flip. Just sell it all.
Potentially.
Yeah, I would like it if ES showed a little bit of weakness at the open, Enki rallied off, and then ES sellers just showed up and wanted to have a party. That would make me happy, actually.
If this bull story starts to shut off, I mean, that's going to be a great place, to get some bearish continuation. That would be a great place from an entry perspective if we get up there.
Yeah, I agree. Like frame this and then just immediately other side.
Yeah.
Where is it over now low? It's Asia low.
128, 28, 26. 24.
26 to 26.25, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was
say hi to the chat.
I don't know. We'll leave him for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I'm kidding. We need likes.
Don't acknowledge the chat.
We need likes. Kim, what do you smell like? What cologne? I actually wear Yves Saint Laurent Baby Cat. That's like my go-to. There you go.
Hello, ladies. Hello, chill guy. Or chill girl.
No, it's the guy. I met him at the
I know, but he called us ladies, so I have to call him chill girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine.
This is an interesting one. Is NinjaTrader starting their own prop firm or just partnership? NinjaTrader is not starting their own prop firm, at least to my knowledge.
At least to my knowledge as well.
Ninja Prop is just a new iteration of trading prop on NinjaTrader and Tradebait. And they've added some new features. So like the Orderflow Plus license package is now part of that. Part of setting up with any prop firm. So you get the volume profile and VWAP and Delta. All of those things are part of the Ninja Prop package, including the other things that AJ talked about earlier. So
there'll be a lot more features.
They're going to add more to it too.
Yeah,
it sounds like this is just the beginning of kind of a recommitment, if that's a good term, to Ninja trading prop on Ninja. Would you say?
Yeah, no, spot on. Yep. I don't think the team would mind admitting that the TradeAway platform has kind of been left to its own devices. I think the add-ons are getting a refresh, the platform's getting a refresh, just everything is getting an improvement there. So, and I'm sure some of it, the things that everyone wants are going to get added eventually. But to start with, it's just a few of the paid features that were previously an add-on are now just included on select firms that have opted into TradeAway Prop. Yeah. Which as of right now, there are only a few. Trade copier. There needs to be a trade copier.
There's one, right? The TradeAway.
There is, but it's only within the same account. It's called group trading, and it is a little bit clunky, but yeah. Clunky and TradeAway go hand in hand. However, it is a really, really good platform when you get your head around it. So yeah. But chat, how are we? Any bullish?
Who's bullish? Did we get a
poll? Yeah, did we get a poll? I feel like I got rugged with my poll.
Maybe we can't do a poll because the giveaway.
Yeah, maybe. And that's more important.
So maybe you should comment in the chat if you're bullish or bearish.
Bullish or bearish?
Where are the girls? Great question.
Great question. There is a poll.
Oh.
How do I see the poll? Where's the poll, chat? Well, who's winning the poll? Bullish, neutral, bearish. You know what I think it's gonna do? I think it's gonna go right. There, I said it.
Gonna go right.
Yeah, I said it. I would be really shocked if it went left.
There's something that I could do to make this chart go right up and to the left. That would be amazing.
Go back, give me a chance to show up.
You can't take a trade from replay, just FYI.
Yeah.
You can't go back to the future.
Let's talk about how long we got. We got 5 minutes to the open. Let's talk about the competition.
All right, yeah, let's talk about it.
What day are you competing?
I completely forgot. Let me look. Hang on. That's how jammed up my life is right now. Which one are you?
No, you tell me first. Fuck. I'm competing on the
27th.
That's the second one. I'm competing then as well.
Oh, shoot.
I can't make this the first or the last one, so there's my only option.
Who's going to be... So...
I'm probably going to lose. I don't do well with force trading.
Well, Deli mentioned that it couldn't be gamed.
Yeah, but I think
so. I'm curious what the structure of the structure of it is.
3 micros, MES, MNQ, MGC, and 61, I think.
3 micros?
3 micros, yeah.
But you can trade all the markets with 3 micros?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I would assume so.
That's so tricky.
And Marky Mummy's on the 27th too. We're gonna have a party. Damn. So I'm just gonna have to set it up so that when I take a trade, it just takes all of them. Okay, cool.
You'll have to show me how to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. Also, do I want a long gold and NQ? Probably not. Probably actually. the way it's working.
I mean, gold just. I think you can just open the gold chart and buy and
Yeah, I
close it
think
at the end of the day.
I think I'm going to disable my sell button on that one. Yeah. Rough. Tricky one. But yeah, so I'm on the second one. And then I don't really do well in these competitions, so don't expect anything from me. I'm sorry.
Do you think the rising popularity, I'll say, of these trade competitions? What is your take on?
Go on, carry on. Sorry.
What is your take on them?
I think that competitions that are free are net good for the industry, because the way I think about it is, if you genuinely are a good trader and you know the moon and stars align for you, it can change your life, right? Like, I'm fully aware that the likelihood of me winning the competition is very low because I can't push markets that hard, right? I really wait to time markets and ride them. So if the stars align for me, I could do well, but the likelihood is I'm probably not. So I think they're net positive, but I also think that they just, right now, they're easy to game, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to get through minis and long NQ, long everything basically. And then, like, you know, when we do these arena challenges, like, we load the chart up 3 hours in and someone's up 20k. It's like, wow, that guy's good. Is he? Or is it just to press the market and the market did the right thing? So I don't know. I would like there to be like a longer form one, or like loads of rounds of qualifiers into something that was almost like a championship, something like this, but more drawn out. That would be really, really attractive to me.
Like, so the qualifying event is one day, you would say, like a whole week.
Yeah, like a whole week.
And then like a final with a whole week.
Because a day, like, everyone has bad days, right?
Anybody can be a hero in a day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I'd like it to be longer. But again, that takes more organization, more people, etc. So,
but I mean, I think you hit it on the head with, you know, it's more gamified.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, like, long term, if we start seeing like tons and tons of trade competitions, is it going to be like an esports? Like, we're going to turn trading into an esports thing?
I'd hate that.
I would hate that, because it just turns it into, you know, making it a game and taking what somebody's real strategy and real approach to the markets is and totally putting it up on its head, because now it's just, you're trading just to win. So you're doing unnatural things.
Like,
right?
there's a
like,
competition running at the moment, right? And people are
Yes.
up like 70k on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
So, and I would just ask someone, I can almost assume that most of these people aren't making 70k in 2 days.
Oh,
what's
for
the-
sure.
What's the difference
for sure.
there? It's gamified. They don't care about it. Bro, have you seen what's going on?
Yeah,
ES got
tagging the
absolute.
overnight high.
Yeah, ES also, they sold their balls out of ES for like 5 points. And NQ just was like, fuck your ES, and just went.
But that said, like, I think it's great for the free tournaments, just to introduce traders to trading. I think it does put something on the line for, you know, simulated trading, just to get familiar with markets. Like, I think that's really cool, right? I guess what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to see this industry just turn it into an esports thing where everyone is all of a sudden doing trading competitions. You know?
So like, you wouldn't want to have a bronze tier, a gold tier, a silver tier, like, not all this, and like you have to work your way up, and like, I'm a diamond tier ninja trader. Yeah, no, I would hate that as well. Yeah, there's already too much ego in this space, right? We don't need more ability to brag. Well, that 126 level's approaching, Leo. It's there.
It's here. We've arrived.
We've arrived at 126.
Let's see what happens. So far, nothing, but that can change. That can change. Absorption here. Didn't care about that. Big weekly view up right here. Ball's on.
You're in.
Maybe I may have bottomed. Wow.
I don't know. I did that the other day. It's the worst fucking feeling ever, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that
bro.
moment where I decided to get in.
Someone decided to get in at the opposite side. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that sucks. ES, I really like this area for shorts. We had it marked. We
ES
spoke
is
about
really
it
struggling.
pre-market. ES is really struggling. Like, you could top tick the market here if ES just doesn't find a floor.
Yeah. Come on.
I really don't hate it, to be honest. Because for me, I just framed the ES is probably going to go to its overnight low from here.
If we can lose the week open in ES, which is 68.
Yeah. They were fucking holding that all day. Suit and tie affairs. I keep asking Ninja Trader to do like a black tie dinner. Invite a bunch of... Maybe that could be like the whole thing, right? Like, run these competitions, give away money, exclusive events, stuff like that. Like, make it more fun, more engaging.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh, so you're saying like in real life events? In person?
Yeah, like have a black tie dinner, I don't know, in Chicago or somewhere. Miami, New York, something.
Black tie dinner, simulated trading? I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I can be there, smacking 15 long, simulate, of course. I haven't got the money to trade 15. 65 flush. So, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If ES does find a floor here, what does NQ do? Because ES doesn't have a floor right now. It's just melting.
They're testing that week open right now.
Yeah. They seem to be they're hate selling this right now.
I'm going to cover one here just because we tagged the overnight high, and if we rally, like this could be just a breakout of the overnight high and rally. And I'll just be in one and just look for
Every ad.
Yeah, look for a re-add when we get more of a confirmation that this trade's going to work. So basically, just trying to pay for this. You know, so if I get stopped out at this point, you know, it's a free trade.
Yeah.
Then if it starts to go, you know, look for an ad to get bigger.
Yeah, I think if we start to trade into that low where you covered, I think I would probably look to start getting involved in some sort of sell there.
Yeah. I like this though. They, you know, tried to come back up into these 30s and then they're rejecting them.
There's a lot of people trapped there right now.
Yeah, for sure.
They're about to feel a...
You see the deltas here. We're seeing that absorption.
Yeah.
Every time they tap that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're still building volume up here. We're not able to really accept anything below overnight high. So even though there's all this absorption right here at the open, sellers aren't really pressing yet.
Yeah, they're buying it off that weekly open. Yes, it's just like a really, I think it's a good area here to be short. But if ES buyers really step up here, you did the right thing.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, you have to get out of the way of that fast because they will just stomp all over you. ES gap fill, that's saying. Fading the trend is dangerous. G-Man, what do you think the trend is? You think it's bullish? Okay, fair enough. Well, we had a really bearish day yesterday, so if you were bullish yesterday, you quite literally got ran over all day. But long term, pretty bullish. But naturally, you have to be bullish in. I mean, overall, yeah, overall in equities, you can buy it and forget about it, right? Until the day you can't. Was I short at all yesterday? I actually paper-handed probably one of the better trades of the month for me.
Let's talk about it.
No, that's not, honestly. That's really not. I quite literally left 150 points on the table after we sold off yesterday. Wow. Where? Right here. I was short here on this push. Once we push into this low, I went break even, got ran out, and then all of this happened. So yeah, it was a little bit painful, to be honest. But yeah, it was a nice correction yesterday. And actually I took a long off of this low, previous week, the weekly open low. And I got paid for it.
I got stopped out on that.
Yeah. You overall break even on it though, right?
Down $62. So
Ran out? You mean stopped out? George, I mean I made or lost no money on it. So stopped out for me, the language I use for stopped out suggests that I lost money. I didn't lose money yesterday. I actually made money playing along yesterday. So yeah, so I got ran out because they ran me out before going lower. But that's my language, right? You can have a different meaning for that. Doesn't mean that you're wrong or I'm wrong. When is the correction going to be correct enough to stop? If you knew that, you'd be a trillionaire.
Wow, the Dow went to 0.
No way.
That's crazy.
My chart's like 46,000 points above 0. What happened there? No, I'm kidding, obviously. I actually like this sell here even more now.
Yeah, same.
So can they get back below 132? It's a good short.
It's I like the short, but I'm also looking at this or mid, and I'm like, you know what?
True, don't fade that, yeah. He needs to re-up if he ran out. What do you mean ran out?
Every day is a V-shape in YM. How many of you guys trade YM? I'm actually curious. I want to see a show of hands. Can you believe we only have 268 likes and you're giving away 2 pairs of some insane glasses?
No, I can't actually.
I think you should just be like, hey, you're not giving it away if we don't hit, 500 likes at least.
At least, yeah. I don't know. I'm in a good mood today.
Moscott, is that Moscott?
Actually, I'm on the wrong account here. Okay, I'm in the wrong account on TradingView, but I'm gonna take this on another account over here.
You're gonna take the short?
Yeah. I'm actually waiting to get. I'm in. The good thing about this is I get to go break even at this low.
They're saying YM over.
And Gina Deep.
Yeah, well, I'll leave you guys to that one. The big
So
note for
now
me.
I'm on the Moscow website. I just need to find out which ones they are. Are they the Lemtosh?
They're the Lemtosh ones, yeah.
Sick.
It's crazy. I can't even enter my own promotion. Here we go. Basically, as
What's
soon
going
as
to
we
show up next week?
they're from I think they're from Australia. So if they arrive before next week, I'd be really shocked because I had to wait a while for them. Okay, so nothing really changes here for me right now. I mean, this trade, I'm actually in 3. And I would just go break even at this low, basically, is my plan. Until then...
Right here?
No...
111?
111, 110, 111, yeah. Until then, I will just stay in it.
Really not much on the tape to get excited about for NQ.
No, but ES just spiked that low, so I think I might cover here and just re-enter. I think we're gonna get an entry. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, back in. I took like 8 points on it, and then
Game scalping NQ.
yeah, but I was yeah. I mean, this is really. But recently, the annoying thing for me, right, is where we've had like, I guess, some more trendy progression moves. Like this pullback for me would be an ad normally, but like I've been adding into trades a lot, and then these small little paper cuts just end up being quite hurtful.
Yeah.
On the re-ads. So instead of re-adding, if I can see something like ES like looking to buy up into some area, I'll just TP it, and then if I have to just get back in on a lower price, I will. And if not, then I'll get back in where I got out, and I'll take the 8-10 points. And then for this 20-point trade, it covers like half my risk, right?
Right.
So if I get stopped out here, it's like a half-hour risk trade instead of a full risk. So
Right.
a little bit of account preservation with these markets for me.
When they're slow.
Yeah, because fuck, I've been really bored the last month. Am I short? I am short. Shorted too early. I want to see that 64 ES tag, but they missed it. Yeah. Current dump spies have been showing up. That's typically how the market works, boys and girls.
The dippers.
When things go up, sellers show up, and when things go down, buyers show up. And you know why it works that way? Because that is what the market is intended to do. It finds sellers and finds buyers.
Shocking.
No way. Yeah.
They're going to tag me out here.
Didn't even break the neckline yet. You're at 47, I'm at 53. Telling this, I'll wait for 10 because 10 will be the one. Right now, can we push?
They got me.
Okay, where did you enter? There was no FGO displacement or show entry and time frame. I'm on the 32nd right now. There you go, they got me as well. Should hit your stops. Market gravitates towards liquidity. I have a lot of liquidity, Mike. What about you? Do you know what? I almost tweeted yesterday.
Almost tweeted.
I almost tweeted this because I feel like it's really, really obvious. Is that absolutely everybody is a genius in a trending up market. Like absolute genius. It's really easy to wake up and go long every day, right?
Yeah.
And when it turns, 100% of these people just don't ever come back.
I think we've seen that. There was a really interesting transition, like just on Twitter between 2022 and 2023, where a lot of people that were, beating their chest, puffing their chest out.
Yeah.
And I want to jump back in this short.